Okay, like I said in the last video, I just wanted to make another video explaining the rule of seven. So here's a site about this, and this is something that is pretty established as being accurate. So essentially, the rule of seven is that people see something. Look at this. So, is that customers need to see your brand at least seven times before they commit to a purchase decision. Okay. So, this has been around for a long time, as you can see here. And this is pretty wild when you start to process this reality, because with something like marketing, with something like the ad that I'm running right now, Instagram is probably going to show the same people that ad multiple times and over the course of multiple days, and then over that repetitive, here you go, here's the book, here's the book, here's the book, here's the book, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times to the same people. And while you might think, oh, that's just annoying, they're actually more likely to buy. They're more likely to buy if they're seeing it over and over again. So you want to be targeting the same audience over and over and over and over again, not just expanding your reach out to millions and millions and millions of people at first, because as you can see here, psychologist George Miller, humans can effectively process. I don't know what this guy is talking about here about this, but we're focused on the marketing. So basically, they want to see in marketing something pretty often, a little thing about an offer pretty often. So this is important to keep in mind when you're running ads, because if you look at an ad, for instance, I'm just going to make a Google Doc with this. So this is my book, actually. But we're just going to do marketing mindset. Okay. So, marketing mindset, how to view campaigns and social media. Okay. So, basically, the way we want to look at this is viewing campaigns and social media. One of the most important things to remember is that this is a numbers game. So, you want to keep this in mind. This is a numbers game. I'm going to bold that. Make this, let's choose a font. Impact. We'll keep it a little bit more. Okay. We're going to make this a little fancier here. Bold. Underline. How to view campaigns and social media. This is a numbers game. So this is key points. This is a numbers game. This is an endurance event. and this is worthwhile. These are our key points for this, and I'm going to explain why this is the case. So basically, why is this a numbers game? Why is this a numbers game? It has been well established that people do not purchase from your brand until they have seen your branding 5 to 9 times. 5 to 9 times. This is the 7, the rule of 7. So, think about that for a minute. Let's run an example here. So, say you run an ad campaign that gets 1,000 views, and keep in mind, if you're running a campaign like this, you run an advertising campaign that gets 1,000 views, keep in mind that basically this can be repeat viewers. That 1,000 views does not mean individuals. It means that it has been viewed by somebody on that platform 1,000 times. That could be 500 people viewing it twice, which would actually be better because of what I'm explaining here. So you run an advertising campaign that gets 1,000 views. This can be repeat viewers. Ideally, following the rule above, you would want this to be 150 to 200 people seeing this 5 times. You would want this to only be 100 to 200 people. So you run an ad campaign that gets 1,000 views. This can be repeat viewers. Ideally, following the rule above, right here, you would want this to only be 1 to 200 people. So that would actually convert higher than if you had 1,000 people seeing that ad once. So this would convert higher than if you had 1,000 people seeing that once. 1,000 people seeing that ad once. So this is just something that most people don't know. Most people just don't know that this is how it works. But when you think about your purchasing decisions, how many times do you see a brand before you trust it enough and it has enough credibility in your mind to actually purchase from that brand? How often? Because we're not giving things away for free here, because this is a business and businesses don't give things away for free. That's a charity. Okay, if you want to start a charity, this is not the channel for that. This is a business, and this is how you run a business. And yeah, of course, people are going to download your products or your book or your videos more if it's air quotes free. Of course they are. Okay? But as soon as there's a price tag attached, now you have a business. So that's why we're focusing on this. So there you go. Example, we'll just call this example 1, and then we're going to do example 2 here. Is that if you're looking to make, say you're looking $10 book, you're looking to sell 100 books, okay? Sell 100 books. Great. So how are you going to do this? Basically, you want to message 100, you want to message at least 100 people 5 to 9 times, right? And even if you do that, you're probably looking at maybe 10% conversion. That's high too. So let's say 1% conversion, just to keep it very realistic here. You're looking at 1% conversion to sales. Even with 5 to 9 repeat views, we'll call it. So let's do the numbers out on here, right? So let's just say 5 repeat views. So basically you're looking to sell 100 books. You're at 1% conversion to sales on your ad, and you in order to get that 1% conversion to sales, you are getting 5 to 9 views from each person. Okay, so let's do this out here. So basically 100 books, 1% conversion, and let's say you're getting 7 repeat views on each. So how many people do you show this ad to, right? So this is where the numbers starts to get pretty wild, because this is actually realistic marketing here. This isn't, oh, let's run an ad and make $500,000 in a day. Okay. Let's just get the calculator up here. So, we want to sell 100 books, and we have a 1% conversion rate. So, basically, let's do it this way. 100 times 1%. So, right away, in order to sell 100, we're going to have to get this in front of 10,000 people. And we're going to multiply that, because if this is impressions, say you're getting 7 views and this is 10,000 people, and you, to get that 1%, you show it 7 times. So in order to get 100 sales of your product, you're looking at getting this 70,000 impressions to get 100 sales. So we'll just go back in here. This is around 70,000 impressions. That's what they call it now. Okay. This is around 70,000 impressions to get 100 sales, and that's with 1%, and that's if it's actually retargeting the same group of people, the same small group of people. That's 70,000 impressions. Now, we're going to go back into Facebook, Instagram boosts, and see basically how much that's going to cost to get your product in front of 70,000. Or to get it in front of 10,000 people and 7 times each. So we're going to go back into this. We're just going to create an ad and go here. So this is, I've spent $6 on this. Okay, it's an ad, and we're going to go to boost again. So we're currently running a boost for this post, but here we go. So this is daily, right? So 2.9K for, let's say it's going to be 4 days, and we're looking to sell 100 books, which is going to net $900 profit. We are getting that in front of, essentially, with a good ad, we're looking to get that in front of 10,000 people 7 times. So with our impressions here, we're just going to go with everything on the low side here, because this is also a picture ad, which is not going to perform as well as a video. So 4 days, $14 a day is only going to reach 1,000 impressions. So if you want to sell 100 books, you are way short by doing this. Okay, so 4 days, if you want to get this in front of 70,000 people, how much are you going to have to spend a day? So it's not even going to let me spend this much. But essentially for 4 days, you're looking at, I'm just going to get this 70,000 impressions. Because once again, we're going to look at the lower side of this, because that's a huge range, and I don't think people are getting these numbers. I mean, it's realistically, it's probably going to be a lot closer to the lower side of this. So basically 4 days, let's put in $300 or $250. Doesn't look like this is really, here we go. So 4 times, that's roughly, you're basically, this is why I want to make this video. So following the rule of sevens, you're going to have to get this in front of 70,000. You're going to have to get this in front of 10,000 people 7 times in order to sell this book, right? Great. Okay. Excellent. So how much are you going to be paying to get this in front of that many people that many times? Roughly looking at this, we would be paying $1,000 for 4 days to get this in front of, to get this about 70,000, to get this about 70,000 impressions. Because this is saying account center accounts reached per day, but up here, if we look at this, I can move this, 17K accounts reached a day, but that doesn't matter. It's about how many impressions you're getting. That's actually more important from repeating people. So if we do the numbers out, after looking at that, 70,000 impressions, if we do an Instagram boost with this current model, would cost $1,000 roughly. We're going to do a little plus or minus, a little will cost $1,000. Okay. So what was your profit margin on this? 100 times $9. So let's do some quick math. This means you would be losing $100 by doing this. You would be losing $100. And I'm not making this video to discourage marketing. I'm making this video to encourage a smart approach to marketing, because this is an endurance event. And this brings me to the next point here, which is, why is this an endurance event? Because social media allows you to get the impressions without the initial sales, and then capitalize with advertising. So, what do I mean by this? So essentially, if you are regularly posting branded media, you are getting those impressions. You are getting those impressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 impressions. Maybe over the course of one or 2 weeks. And then you can run some type of paid advertising to get those last 1 or 2 impressions. This is how you actually capitalize on marketing campaigns. So why this is an endurance event is because it's not going to happen overnight. Even if you spent, as I showed up here, you could go into Facebook, Meta, and go make an ad and spend $1,000 and be like, oh, we're going to make so much money on this because we're spending $1,000 on advertising. Like, yeah, we're going to make a ton of money, but you're wrong, because you would actually be losing $100 on that product if it was the numbers we were talking. You would actually be losing $100, and this is with something with very little fulfillment requirements, and it's pretty simple case study here with the ebook. So You could go in there thinking you're gonna ball out and spend $1,000 on Meta, $250 a day, and you would go and lose $100 because it is a numbers game. It's not something that you can just go, oh yeah, this is like gonna work. It's like, no, it's not. This is statistics. It's not going to work. That's why I'm making this video, because it's a numbers game. It's an endurance event. So what this means is that building, and you might not want to hear this because this is not really very, make $200,000 in one day by spending $50. Like, looking at it realistically is actually what gets you to the success levels that are real and that are what you want, versus living in versus operating on misconceptions about how this actually works. So basically, building a legitimate social media presence, following, we'll say, is going to get you those impressions. First impressions, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth impressions. So the way you can look at this is, we'll do an example. Say you want to market your book. Okay, great. Rule is 7. Let's just follow it. Okay, so first what you do is you share first. First share a video explaining the story behind the book. Number 2, for your second impression, share some photos from when you were learning the lessons in the book. Number 3, share some lessons from the book. Number 4, share some lessons from the book in a video. Number 4, read one page of the book in a video. 5, we're not going to go with the discounting method here because we already are discounting this. So read one page of the book in a video. 5, share a story about why this book is helpful. 6, share a explain story behind book cover. And then your 7th impression, that's where you start making the sales. So then when you're here, now you're at the 7th impression. You can just promote the landing page, or let's just say now you're at the 7th impression. The people following this up to this point are likely going to buy as long as it is reasonable and convenient. So guys, why do you think these people post on Instagram when they're, when maybe they have $500,000? People go, oh, why are you making videos though? It's like they understand this concept. That's why. They understand that if they just go and spend $1,000 sponsoring posts on social media and it hits and it gets in front of 1,000 different people one time, it's not going to convert to sales. They get this. Okay, there's a reason why people use social media when they already have money. It's because they get that it's a way to get people, it's a way to get impressions without spending a ton of money on advertising, which is going to wipe your profit margin. So this is how you do it, and this takes time, But you could also do all of this. You could do all of this and share it in one day. Or maybe realistically 2 days, but it's an endurance event because you want to understand how this actually works and not just have some misconception about marketing. Okay, and now why is this worthwhile? This is worthwhile because if you want to build a business that is actually going to sell, this is how it works, guys. This is how it works. If you want to build a business that's actually going to sell, this is how it works. That's why it's worthwhile. Because there is no shortcut. This is the shortcut. This is the shortcut. The endurance mentality here is the shortcut to actually getting the numbers that you want. This is the shortcut to getting actual numbers in sales, in online sales. We'll call it that. Online sales and advertising campaigns and online sales and advertising campaigns. example of success here. We're just going to do a hypothetical here. Example of success. So what you're basically doing is you build a social media account. Could be Instagram, could be Facebook, could be a bunch of different things. You get your first 6 impressions with customers. This takes 2 weeks, say. Then you run a promotion and spend $1,000 and have people ready to buy already. And then each time that someone sees that, it's on their 7th impression when they see that ad. So they are going to buy. So if you spend $1,000 and each one of your impressions is already ready to buy, let's do some math out on that. This campaign would have to be very focused on the people who are already following your page, your media. But let's just do this here. So say you have people ready to buy already. Say you have 2,000 people that are ready to buy. You spend $1,000 to get this final push out, and then you sell 2,000 books. Okay? Say you sell 2,000 books. You have 2,000 people ready to buy at the 7th impression. You spend $1,000 making sure that is completed, and you sell 2,000 ebooks. Okay, great. Let's do a little breakdown of this. 2,000 times $9 profit is $18,000. This would bring in $18,000 less 1,000 ad spend equals net profit of $17,000. This is how it works. These are the numbers, and this has been proven. This has been around for almost 100 years, this approach now, and this is how it's done. This is the shortcut doing this. So this is how you want to view campaigns and social media. It's a numbers game, it's an endurance event, and it's worthwhile. It's a numbers game because it's been well established that people do not purchase from your brand until they've seen your branding 5 to 9 times. Rule 7, Here's some examples. It's an endurance event because you can actually get impressions without paying for advertising for 1 or 2 weeks, and then you can run some type of paid advertising to get those last 1 or 2 impressions. This is how you actually capitalize on marketing campaigns. And now I do want to say, before I conclude this video, for all of this stuff that I talked about here, you can also boost all of the above posts just to get it started. If you don't have a huge following and you're just starting off, you can boost this stuff with a little bit of money just to get some viewership on it. So with your video explaining the story behind the book, some photos from when you were learning lessons in the book, sharing some lessons, 1 page in a video, share a story about why this book is helpful, explain the story behind book cover, now your 7th impression, now you spend your $1,000 on advertising, you sell 2,000 of these, and you make $17,000. And this is basically the way to do this. This is the shortcut. So I want to explain this. This is really helpful here. And I just think that this is the way that you view this stuff.